The Little Hymn Book is a little book all about him. It's a book about Jesus, 10 really short chapters, easy to read, and each chapter is telling us about Jesus, who he is and what he's done, and perhaps most importantly, why he stirs our hearts to worship. The Little Hymn Book is for people that are maybe new to Christianity and want to discover more about Jesus, or even people that aren't Christians yet but want to understand a little bit more about him. Why is it that Christians sing about this man Jesus? Or maybe you've been a Christian for many years. Perhaps your heart has grown a little bit cold and you want to be reminded what is so amazing about Jesus. I think it could be a useful little resource. I mean, it's a quick read, but for a preacher or for a youth leader, just for a kind of an idea for a series of talks or a series of messages, it could be useful for parents who want something to read through with the family for family devotions. And hopefully it will be a good book for book givers. I don't know if there's any of those left in the world, but people who buy books to give away, hopefully this will be a very giveable kind of a book. It isn't a hymn book in the sense of a hymn book, but it does have hymns in it. So at the end of every chapter, I've put in a hymn, typically a famous hymn, that fits with the content of the chapter. So when you've finished reading the chapter, maybe that hymn can get stuck in your mind and you can whistle it and sing it as you go through your day. So it's not a hymn book in the traditional sense, but the right response to Jesus is to sing, and so hopefully the hymns can help us with that. For years, my favourite hymn was probably When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, but I think now I would have to say Love Divine or Love's Excelling by Charles Wesley. My favourite chapter, I'm not sure, it could be the chapter about Jesus the storyteller. I love the way that Jesus tells stories and is able to impact people's lives. In fact, I kind of like most of the chapters, but if I had to pick one, I would say it is the chapter called The Bridegroom, and actually the one after it, the rest of the story. We're thinking about Jesus being united in marriage with his bride, the church. Would it make a good Christmas present? Yes. I hope it will. I'd love people to buy copies of this. Why would it make a good Christmas present? Well, its size, here's my hand. It's small, right? I mean, my hand isn't, but the book is. This would fit nicely into a stocking, and so stocking filler. It wraps nicely for men who aren't very good at wrapping presents. It's kind of the easiest shape to wrap. In fact, it's not really big, so you could potentially get it into an envelope even without wrapping it if you're that kind of person. But I think this would make a great Christmas present, and so I'd encourage you to think of everyone you know and buy as many copies as it takes to get one to them. I think you should give as many as you possibly can. It would be a fun challenge, a fun way to end a difficult year. And so you could make a list of family members, relatives, people that are in your church, maybe people in your home group or people in your youth group, maybe all of your pastors and staff in the church. You could think about everyone you work with. You could think about anybody that has ever kind of come along to church with you, or anybody that might come along to church in the future. Really, there's no limit, is there? And if you go to 10 of those, the more you buy, the cheaper it gets. And so eventually it just pays for itself. Well, if you really like it, then obviously buy more copies and give them away. But also it's really, really helpful if you put a positive, like really positive review on the 10 of those website. You can put it on Amazon if you want, Goodreads, any website where you can review the book. The nice reviews and the nice ratings just help more people to find it. And that would be so much appreciated. Thanks. The place to go for good Christian books is 10ofthose.com. And I have a page, an affiliate link at 10ofthose.com in the UK and 10ofthose.com in the US. Nice and simple, easy to find. I'll put the links in the description below, or they may even appear on the screen with some nice flags behind them. But if you go to those links and start there, by all means, get the little hymn book. You'll see my other books are listed there as well. And then you can just go through the site and buy lots of other good materials, good resources too. 10ofthose.com, that's the place to go.